Good. Please join me on Slido. Slido ID is 98659. Aslam, please update your name on Slido so that we know who's talking. Thank you, Monis. Same to you. Thank you, Mr. Adnan. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Make sure you put your name on Slido so we know who's talking. Thank you, Mr. Aziz Saab. Thank you very much for joining us today. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Recent. Okay. All right, so today is our last day actually. Wassalam, Marsa, thank you very much for joining us. Wassalam, just make sure you change your name from the profile. On the right side, you see a profile icon. Just put your name there so we know who's talking because anonymous will not know who's talking and also you'll not win the points, reward point. Today is the last day. So gifts. Okay. ले आइए मेरा ख्याल. All right. Walaikum Assalam. Assalam Farooq. Thanks for joining us today. We are waiting for a few more participants to start the session. Maybe one more minute. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, you can ask me on Slido. If you have any specific questions related to yesterday's exercises or anything. Salam, Mr. Salik, thanks for joining us. If you have any questions, anybody have any questions, you can write on Slido. We are starting in a few minutes. Wow. So Kazi is with me here today and he have bought your gifts, surprise gifts as promised. Okay. Beautiful. I should also get one out of it. You know, like I've been participating a lot. Okay. So this is everyone. So we have 3 gifts here for you. So I told you last day you'll be. We have 3 gifts. Okay, and beautiful packing. You see, and you have to tell me that what's inside because it's also a surprise for me. We always keep it like this, but that must be something that whoever is not participated will definitely regret about. So okay, I think you have to admit few people there. Okay, we are letting you in, but put your name so we know who's talking. Just change your name on Slido so we know who's talking, so you can get reward points as well. We have 3 anonymous names on the Slido. Just make sure you put your name on Slido. Satken, I wish it works like this. Satken is saying that like top 10 should get the reward. I wish it works like this. Usually it's 1, but thanks to Omni Academy, they have multiplied. I told you it's not divided, it's multiplied. So top 3 participants are getting same, right? Exactly same rewards, all 3 of them, like duplicated, multiplied. Not same as 1 and they have to distribute. It's 1 for everyone for top 3. Okay, before starting the session, still I think few people are joining us. So meanwhile, let's see the point structure. Yesterday, yesterday have changed a lot of things. So don't be surprised after seeing this sheet. Yesterday have changed a lot because the people who participated yesterday, you can see it on your screen. Like the numbers have significantly changed as compared to yesterday, because yesterday there was 50 point for participation in exercises. So everybody participated, a lot of new names and a lot of old names have been changed. If you see, very tough competition in these four, but still I see today the quiz will be 400 points. So whoever, but there will be no runner-up award. There will be only 400 points, means 50 points for each question. It's totally different this time. It'll be a hard questions, actual exam sort of questions, and they will be like you have to. So every question we'll have winner, and that winner will get 50 points. So if you win all 8 answers, first right answers, you can get 400 points. So for example, how I see it is that if, for example, Adnan Sheikh will win 500 point, he could get the reward as well. So otherwise, the tough competition is between Arsa, Farooq, Mr. Muhammad Azhar Javed, and Muzaffar. Well deserved, I would say. Kashif, yesterday, I think Kashif's participation was not that much. That's the reason. Otherwise, he would have been in the race as well. You are still in the race, actually. Kashif is still in the race. The only thing is you have to win the quiz today. All right. So, yeah. Wanislam, Mr. Nawaz, thanks for joining us today. Any questions you can ask me now, or now we are going to start our session. We will first have our solution evaluation, which is the last knowledge area and last topic of our discussion. We will finish it first, and then we will go for quiz. And after the quiz, we will share the winners and along with the awards. Okay. So I don't have any questions as of now, but if you have any questions, any comments, so you can write it on Slido. We'll take it up. Okay. All right. So we are starting a new last topic of our discussion for business analysis body of knowledge, or CBAP preparation, is solution evaluation. Earlier, before 2017, this was called solution assessment and validation. Now you know that solution validation, solution assessment goes into the area of requirement analysis and solution design, where we are assessing the solution, which solution is appropriate, right, defining approaches and all the stuff. So solution evaluation. Now, let's start by saying that now you have a good idea about business analysis, and I'm sure you might already been doing solution evaluation, like evaluating a solution. Now, solution could be software, could be process, could be product. We know this, but according to your field of IT, what do you think a solution evaluation is? You do the evaluation, solution evaluation, you do? All right, good. Thank you, Mr. Muzaffar. So what activities you do in solution evaluation? What is it? What you do actually?
Actually, it depends upon the requirements. Sometimes we evaluate our internal processes, just like few reports or end of day processes are taking too much time. We evaluate them, that how we can minimize their times, and if there is any requirement on the software side, there's any change, then we will evaluate that change and how this can be performed. For example, any regulation for withholding tax or something like that, we evaluate these sort of changes.
So see, still well explained. You get it. You get 5 points for this, but still, it's what you have mentioned. Like if some report is running slow, you evaluate. So actually, it's actually a requirement elicitation and analysis, because somebody have given you a requirement that report is running slow, so you evaluate. Also, same thing that you have said about the change request comes in. So that's again a requirement analysis at how it will be. That's not solution evaluation. Solution evaluation is about evaluating whether the solution which you have given uh, is right or not, actually, or is it? So that's what solution evaluation. And let's discuss this in detail. Let me. I just wanted to. You have given a right answer, but a little bit difference in terms of the requirement and elicitation. Don't forget requirement elicitation, where we collect the requirement analysis, where we analyze the requirement, and requirement analysis have two phases. Remember, one is understanding
Well,
the requirement.
sometime we also evaluate the solutions in terms of if we are getting any solution from vendor, then we evaluate the different solutions that which one is the
Yes,
better one. That we do in IT
beautiful.
as well.
Beautiful. Yes, exactly. So that's what solution evaluation is. So you evaluate it based on the predefined criteria, I'm sure. So yeah, absolutely right. So solution evaluation, if you see this chart here, solution evaluation happens when the solution is developed and you are implementing it. So usually there is, you can say, UAT, for example. UAT is user acceptance test, is also a solution evaluation that you are measuring whether the solution is achieving the required results or not. Also, not only UAT, but even after go live, when the project is finished, you evaluate the project. So usually when a project management project is completed, like when you say that my project manager say my project is completed, it is where you do the UAT and go live. That's it. Okay, but business analyst project will not end there. So while going live, you will note down that this project have achieved these business results, and some of the results will not be validated. Okay, some of the results will not be validated. Some of the results will be validated like after 3 months, 6 months. Because, for example, if the system was about to increase sales or reduce cost or increase the efficiency of employee, you can't just test it while going live. It has to spend some time. So project manager, for him, maybe the project is finished, but for business analyst, no, the project is not finished. You have to uh, do that evaluation at later stages. Now you decide based on each project that what is your evaluation frequency on this. Sometime you evaluate the project after 1 month, sometime a quarter, uh, sometimes a year, but it depends on what project. But you decide that while the project is finished, so that you have this checklist and you follow that. So this is business analyst solution evaluation that goes in the project. When the solution is developed, you evaluate that. Okay, UAT implementation level, but also even the project has gone live, beta is run, it's operating for 1 year maybe, then still even after 5 years, so you can also do it. So usually what happens, how the organization does it, they, whenever a project is done finished by the BA, a BA is assigned with the additional responsibility of monthly, quarterly, half yearly, and annual assessment of certain solutions. Sometimes the same BA evaluate the solution. Sometimes evaluation BA. That's also one of the position, solution evaluation BA we call them. So they are the one who are actually evaluating the applications after go live. Now these solution evaluation BAs, we also call them operations BA. They are the one who are actually looking after, like the system support BA. So they are business analysts of system support. Like they are evaluating which software have more issues, which software have what kind of issues, and then they are actually relating it to the relevant BAs or the projects, and then maybe a new project comes up from those areas. Okay, so nowadays there could be a separate position for that, or the same BA can do it. But the point is the BA scope goes after the project is implemented. That's very important. So what you do in solution evaluation, you actually assess whether the solution that you have implemented or implementing will really solve the problems that the business objectives had. Like what was the business objective? Are we going to achieve them, or we are not going to achieve them? So this may or may not be verified at the time of implementation. So if it is verified, you make a checklist of yes, this business needs or business requirements or business objectives are met. If those things are not met at the moment, you validate after some time. Now, when you validate after some time, there is something very important that you do not only validate whether
It is for the remaining aspect. Like for example, a solution was supposed to increase the efficiency. Like it was taking 1 hour, now after it was taking a day, now it will take 1 hour, for example, for a specific process. This is one of the things. It was supposed to increase the sales or reduce the cost. So three major objectives. Now, when you implemented the system, maybe the time was tested. You said, yeah, okay, now it's happening in 1 hour. That's checked. Now, increased sales and cost is still not validated because we need some time. So you said, okay, I'll do it after 6 months. After 6 months, when you will come, it's not like you will only validate the two business aspects. You have to again validate all three. You have to make sure that still when we implemented this system, it was finishing in 1 hour, and that was the business target. Or rather than one day, it should have the process in 1 hour. Still, it's taking 1 hour, or it's increased by like up to 3 hours. Okay, so this again you have to validate along with the other things. So you actually, whenever you do the solution evaluation, you revalidate all the aspects to make sure that these are still the solution is still giving the same results as it was expected or not. And if you find out that it's not, then you do certain tasks. Now we are going to discuss that whole scenario, that how it works. I have few two comments. One, Arsa is saying we evaluate the check gates. Yes, exactly. That's very valid evaluation. Muzaffar Ali Umrani, being ITBA, we emulate with respect to hardware or time of process. Muzaffar, you have to be a little bit more precise on that. I was not able to get your question, so maybe you can rewrite it or rephrase it so we can take it up. Okay, now solution evaluation have 5 tasks. Okay, 5 is the lucky number I told you, remember? So five tasks. First of all, you define the you define and gather the solution performance data. So if it's already defined, usually it's already defined, the solution matrix, what we call it a KPI or performance matrix of the solution, like from the business objective, that how it should be, what it should be achieving. Okay, so we gather that data, that is it achieving that or not. So for example, if there are 20 users using it or 200 branches using it across the country, you send them surveys that how much time it takes for this process. They say less than 15 minutes, more than 1 hour. So you that tick 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 and you get the data. So that's what you do, measure the solution performance, what's actually happening, and then analyze those results. So analyze means once you get the data, you analyze the data. You remember, analysis is not everything. It has two aspects. So first we try to understand what's wrong, what's the data coming in, and then we apply standard analysis procedures to understand. And analysis procedures we discuss, have modelings, we have root cause analysis, we have a lot of things. So we apply that one and we get the results, that what are the specific issues. Okay, so you analyze those performance measures that you get, and once you get the results, you assess that why the system is not performing well. So for example, there could be two different types of limitations why the system is not giving you the results that were expected or out of it. Like if it was expected to have certain time bound, it was expected to save certain time for the customer or employee, or it was expected to increase sales or reduce cost or employee efficiency. There could be two aspects to it. One, the solution has its own limitation. Maybe the programming is obsolete. Maybe it has too much data that it cannot achieve the same results now. Or maybe the solution is not used properly, or the solution is not usable. So these limitations are related to solution. Okay, but there is another aspect as well why the solution is not giving the right results. It could be enterprise limitation. Enterprise limitation means the user is not using the system that it should be, like as a whole, or the feature that they should be using. Or it could be a cultural issue. People don't want to use it. Or it could be a process is changed. The solution was developed and it's working fine, but the actual process outside the solution in the business is changed. So these are all enterprise limitations. So you have to assess both of this. And in 80%, 80-20 Pareto ratio is there. So in 80% of the cases, you'll find out it's not a solution limitation. It's actually an enterprise limitation that due to which they are not able to achieve the required results. Now, you first measure the performance data, you get the data, you analyzed it, then you went into the root cause of identifying whether it's a solution limitation or enterprise limitation. Now you have to recommend the solution. Recommendation could be a lot of different recommendation could be there. We will discuss this in detail. I have few comments. Mr. Muzaffar is have put some detail on his last question. We check either hardware is sufficient or we need to increase. We also check process time. Very good. Yes, exactly. So very good. I think Muzaffar got 5 points for this one. Yeah, exactly. So this is what is solution evaluation is about. So if it doesn't work well, you go into the detail, you find out whether it's a hardware issue or it's a software issue or it's a query issue, it's a database issue, and what is the specific impact. Absolutely right. Farooq is commenting maybe the solution dependencies are not responding well. Beautiful. This is what goes in the enterprise limitation as well. Like for example, where Farooq is saying maybe the solution dependencies are not responding well, like it's integrated to external systems. So for example, we said that the system will increase the efficiency of staff and will save the staff like a half day of work that he does once a month. But because the system was supposed to get data from an external system, now that external system is still not talking or may not be updated. The other system is not updated, to which you are not getting that data. So of course, absolutely right. 5 points for Farooq as well. Okay, so yeah, exactly. So based on this analysis, you recommend a solution. Now, for example, if Mr. Muzaffar's point is taken, then we can say that suggesting a new hardware or a new database or maybe like moving to cloud or anything could be a recommended solution. But talking about Farooq and his scenario, probably having a different stream of data, or maybe producing that data from another source, or pushing that external system to give this data on a priority basis would be a solution. I have a question from Mr. Adnan. Solution evaluation is to evaluate the existing system is fulfilled. Yes, absolutely right. So it has two aspects actually. It's about now the solution is developed. That's what we need to consider. It could be pilot, beta, or could be go live after go live. So all four stages could be beta or alpha, beta, what you call it, the release. Also UAT, also go live, after go live. So all these areas, we are actually evaluating the developed solution here. So it's actually a solution that we are going to evaluate. Absolutely right. Okay. Task of solution evaluation. So there are five, as we discussed, there are 5 tasks. Let's go task by task. So first task is to measure the solution performance, that how is it performing. As I said, that if a process was supposed to finish in like 1 minute instead of 1 hour, then you send a survey to everybody, all relevant users, and ask them that how much time it takes, and they give the results, and then so this is what the collection of data. Sometimes you give surveys to collect data, sometimes you have to interview. Again, same elicitation technique. Here you have to apply the elicitation technique to get the data. Sometimes it's in the system logs, it will generate. Sometimes you have made maybe a report that calculates. Okay. So, for example, if it's a loan approval process and it was supposed to be approved in 48 hours for 80% cases, let's say, then you can get this data from the system. Okay. So you actually measure. So while measuring, what you do, you actually define first of all that what you are going to measure. Usually that list comes from business requirements, that when you create a business case. So you remember we discussed in strategic analysis, you are defining a business requirements there. You ask why it's needed. So when you ask why it's needed, you get certain business objectives, and usually those business objectives will help you defining the performance matrices that we were discussing in business analysis, planning and monitoring. So you decide the performance matrices, and even you use those performance matrices in solution performance matrices or solution related KPIs in requirement analysis and design. When you are making a design, you are validating that yes, it will perform. It's because it's not developed that it's still a design. So you actually validate yes, it will solve the issue and it will achieve that KPI. So now you are identifying the KPIs that you are going to validate, and then you again you do a small. It's a small little trick is there that maybe when the solution was made, it's 3 years ago, because solution evaluation can go up to 5 years as well, or even 10 years. It depends at how far you are going and what is your scope. So you have to make sure that if any change now, because you know the system and it's been working, and maybe you have already done several evaluations in past, so maybe now you can say that this evaluation criteria or the KPI that we agreed, like it should take 1 hour instead of 1 day or 1 minute instead of 1 hour, that is not correct. Okay, that should be 30 seconds or that could be like 30 minutes. So you actually validate also that measure, that is it the right thing actually, or maybe some other BA have added it. It was a, you can say uh, uh, unachievable objective, because if you remember we discussed that business objectives should be smart. So maybe that's unachievable. So you have to validate that the measure, the KPI that you are going to evaluate is valid or not. Sometimes you actually add from your aspects, like you say, okay, we haven't considered this aspect, so I have to put that aspect. So you increase the number of measures. Sometimes you reduce the number of measures. Sometimes you change, you keep the measures, but you change their goals. So you make that first, and then you start collecting the data. Okay, and collecting the data means you if it's a product, like if it's you are in FMCG, then like your products like shampoos, whatever, it could be a product that you launch it and you expected that it will have this benefit. So is it doing it or not? So some data might come from sales, some from cost, some from competitive analysis, some from XYZ different areas. But if you are in a software, probably the data will come from logs, database, people's feedback, uh, customer complaints on this specific area. Maybe a IT support will help you generating a tickets for that specific issue. Sometimes you develop a solution because there is a lot of complaints on that area. So now you have to check that these specific complaints are reduced or not. So this is literally a funful job. It's really it gives this satisfaction to the business analyst that the money spent by the company is actually giving the results or not. So this is beautiful. As I told you, there are organizations that kept the solution evaluation BA, or we also call them operations BA, that actually are responsible for dedicatedly this job, and they are very very motivated towards finding the solutions that are not performing at their not par, but their minimum thing is their bare minimum is the required functionality and required uh, set of KPIs. I remember we were in Malaysia, implemented the business analysis division like 10 years ago in Malaysia, CMMI level 5 company. So after like 1.5 year, in our follow-up session, there was a BA who have been awarded because uh, he actually created this culture in his organization that whether we start with, this was a big thing, but that's what he does. Maybe it was applicable in his domain, may not be applicable in your domain, but what he does is he actually as part of revising the measurement criteria, he was actually removing the functionalities from the system if they are not used or not as per par. So they don't discuss this until there is a new project that enhance that to the level. and this has saved this company lots of several $1 million, as well as it saves lots of efforts, and it helps the organization to invest on the right area. So if that is not up to the par, that was not considered. So this is good position. So if you have some solutions, try doing it and see the power that you will feel for that specific product. So I have a comment from Mr. Azhar. Operation cost of solution need to be measured also during evaluation solution. Yes, if it was the, remember, if it was the criteria, then it should be evaluated. So if you think there are two ways, first of all, there are two answers to your question. So the operation cost of the solution need to be measured. The answer is yes, but there are two areas. First of all, when the solution was made, the operation cost was targeted to be reduced or up to specific. If that was the matrix agreed, yes. If it was not agreed, then again there are two questions. Do you think it is relevant to calculate, and it will really evaluate to decide the it will be really evaluate to decide the future of that application, whether we need to close it or enhance it to reduce that cost? If yes, then again your answer is yes, that you have to, if even if it was not part of the initial matrix or performance criteria, now you have to add that. Okay, but if you think it was not added, and even it will not have any benefit now, like we can't control that cost that comes from the third party, we have to minimum give it, then there is no point in evaluating that. Okay, so if you think it's important, as I mentioned, then yes, you definitely do that. Okay, so now you have collected the performance data. Now you analyze. So how you analyze? Now you have the desired value in front of you. Okay, like what should be the desired value? For example, if my objective was the transaction should be completed within a minute, so this is my desired value. So how much time it takes now? If a loan application process was supposed to be finished in 48 hours for 80% applications, now you take 1 year of application since your system is implemented, and you find out how much percentage of applications have completed within 48 hours, and you find 81%, good. If you find 79%, still good. Now this is very important to understand here, and you might have this question that what is the performance uh, uh, deviation that we accept? It depends on your on the specific solution. So usually 5% variance is acceptable as per general BA performance related things. But if it is financial and you said that it was supposed to save a specific cost and that cost goes into the millions of dollars, 5% would make a big difference. But usually 5% is acceptable. But if it is more financial intuitive, then the percentage it could change. Okay. Then once you compare the solution performance with the, okay, I have a question. So Muzaffar, it means we must have clear checklist objectives so that evaluate during this phase. Yes. And trust me, no, not much time. So for example, if you are from the beginning, you are a BA and you have asked why it is needed, and you try to find the excitement features that we discuss, and you try to find that business objectives, why we are doing it, then it's already there. You just have to find the target value, then evaluate on that. So it will not take much time. But for example, if it's not there, it's still worth doing it. It will take 1 or maximum 2 days to gather or that like make this list. But this list will be useful for next 10 years because system is there. Even if the system is obsolete, a new system will come. It will have better performance than this one. So the checklist still follows. Maybe a few more items to be added. So yes, you're right, Mr. Muzaffar. Okay, so solution performance and desired value. Okay, so you compare the solution performance with the desired value. If the value is 5% variation, that's usually acceptable, but it depends on the specific financial impact. Okay, now you identify the risks involved in this performance. Like, do you think that there are certain risks that you have already accounted for past that have incurred and causing this performance variance? Or if the performance is so high as compared to desired data, it's even faster than the desired value, then what are the risk of that it could even further reduce? Okay, or if there is a positive risk of even is the performance to be increased in future. So you identify those risks which are related. Then you identify something which is called trend. So now you have data. You have past 1 year data, 2 years data, 3 years data, depending on how much the software has run for or a solution has run for. Now you understand the trends. Maybe the solution overall performance is good, but that's not your objective only. Your objective is to see the trend. When the performance goes down, when the performance goes up, make a small benchmark control chart. Like you say, okay, the system was supposed to have 10 transactions per day. So your benchmark would be 5 to 8. So in the months, days where the transactions are less than 5 or more than 8, you actually focus on that area. That okay, so it's mean that if goes less than 5, it's mean these are the areas we need to focus more, so that we can maybe increase better performance on these days. So you try to find out what happened in those days that the transactions are slow. You might find out that during this time another process or another application is in use, and like it takes little time for people to process, or maybe at this time the user have some other work that takes extra time. So this is root causes. See, so you go and help the people, asking them that, see, this system is not performing. You'll start from there. This system is not performing as we decided. And why? Because in this month you work on this area rather than this more, so we have slow response. So why not you dedicate at least a part of this job so that we can achieve a better result, and then you compare it next year. So there's a change that you have done, and now you follow up. So you have to analyze the trends, not only the end performance, but the trends that are getting to that performance. Then you have to question the accuracy of the data that you are getting. So maybe it was a survey. You send a questionnaire to your staff, and they said less than 15, less than 20. Now you have to validate the accuracy, that how accurate the data is that you are getting from the people. Are they just giving it from their mind, or they really have access to information? So you test few data and validate. Okay, and then you make a small report. We call it performance variance and the reasons of performance variance. That includes the risk, the trends, the accuracy of the data. So this all 5 items becomes a one small report. Okay. Yes, we have few questions. Muzaffar is asking a question: what if we are business targets, we are achieving a business target, but operational cost is increased from the solution? Yes, so see, that's again, I'll answer this question like I did for Mr. Azhar, that if the operation cost is increased, now the point is, the operation cost was part of the performance matrix or not? Like you agreed that it will have certain operation cost. So if yes, then yes, you have to consider that, and the next steps will come when you have to now go to the next level to identify why it is happening, and then you have to recommend the solution. We will go to that point, but the point first is, was that operation cost was benchmarked? It should be between this or percentage of this. Like every transaction should not increase 1 rupees, for example, the cost, and now it's been increased. So was it a performance target? If yes, then of course you have to capture it from day one. But for example, if it was not the performance target, but now you are thinking and you say no, it should be, then add it and monitor. And now if it is increased, what you should do, we will discuss this in next 3 points. Okay, I hope I answered your question. Muzaffar Arsa have a question. We have evaluated our systems and decided whether to shelf, keep on using them based on standards such as application. Beautiful. Yes. So this is actually the answer for Muzaffar as well, that even if some of the maybe your solution is meeting the target, but operation cost is so high, then maybe you can, as Arsa is saying, that could be the solution of putting it on shelf, or don't use it, or maybe invest amount to reduce the cost, or maybe give it to somebody else to maintain it, so that you leave you don't need to bear any additional cost for the moment. So we'll discuss this in the third or fourth task that we are going to discuss. Arsa also have one feedback: scalability, security. Yes, all these are scalability, security, and application compatibility are the performance matrix or performance KPIs. If you have noted it. If not, then you can question it now, and you can add them to the part of the solution evaluation. But the important thing is the solution evaluation must happen. At least for a software which have went live, 6 months is the maximum. If you do it after 1 month, it's better. But 6 months is maximum. And then the second review, you can do it after 1 year. That's not a problem. But first, mandatory, a full scale solution evaluation must happen. And you can compare the ROI. It's not like we have finished the project and thank you. That's for project manager, of course. But for business analyst, no. Okay. So we are talking about now, once you measure the criteria, now you have the data. Now you assess what are the solution limitations due to which we are not able to achieve the targets. So for example, you identify the internal solution component dependency, like maybe there is the solution is there is edit button is hard to find, or there is a software having some fields which are open, which is causing the extra data entry, or maybe there are few things in which systems user is making mistake. Okay, this is a very good way of finding. For example, you are taking interview. How is the solution? Okay, the solution is working well. Now you say, all right, what is the problem with the solution? He said, yeah, there is no much solution, though no much problem, but sometimes the system behave differently. I feed a data and somehow it's automatically updated. I don't know why. So it's been, there will be a change log. Okay, so you check that change log and you see that how many times a transaction edited by the user. So you find that how many times, and then discuss it, why it needs that much changes. So maybe you will find out a new requirement that will save time of these 5 changes, and do it at first go. Sometime only a system, if usually system date comes automatically, and this is big problem. So user have to first feed the data because they don't have option to edit that data, and that's okay. But the process, because the data is fed, but it's old data, and this has to be fed in the system, so they put it with the current date. But the process of changing that is so huge that that impacts everything. So you have to go into that level. So yes, also scalability, security, application compatibility is absolutely the right inputs, and we give you 5 points for that as well also. Okay, now solution. Now you evaluated this. You got the data, so you are evaluating what solution problems, like data entry problems. Sometimes extra screens are created. So the biggest issue of automation is because if you do it with the user requirement, you will end up having, as we discussed earlier, you will end up having 3 screens for 3 different users, but at the end 1 user will be using, because when the requirement was collected, they were thinking we'll have 3 people, so he will do that, he will do that. At the end, 1 person is doing 3 jobs, 3 things, and it takes his work is even further increased. So identify those dependencies in the solution. Investigate the problem. Find out what's actually lacking behind. What's the problem? If it's on a specific days, what's the issue? If it's with the user, it's what's the issue? Is it a user friendliness issue? Is it a UI issue? Is it a UX issue? That's mostly. Or if it's some sort of duplication, redundancy that is causing the issue, or maybe it is having some critical issues, like customer has to maintain an Excel sheet in addition to that. So it's mean that this system is not taking full data, so he's maintaining separate Excel sheets on that. So investigate that problems and identify the impacts. Like what you have listed a lot of issues now. Okay, maybe a UI interface issue, UI issue, UX issue, duplication issue, user training related mistakes, or duplication of work. Now, how much it is impacting to your desired value? You find out. So because you can't fix everything, so you have to choose from that list of problem and fix them. So you have to actually put the exact as impact, and then you have to choose the tasks which have higher impacts. Okay, you can't fix everything, remember this. Okay, after evaluating the solution limitation, you identify the enterprise level evaluation limitation. Solution limitation means a software issue, data entry issue, mistakes, data update automatically, data didn't come from some other place, uh, you know um, uh, calculations are not proper, and they have to again calculate it. Duplication of data, the redundancy of data entry, the reports are changed. They have to prepare some manual things. They have to export it to Excel, and then they are making it. So these are all uh, solution limitations. But there will be some enterprise level limitations as well. Level limitation which is not related to the solution specifically, which is outside. So for example, people, like a person who's using the system is not capable. Okay, sometimes the capability restricted by the age, sometimes the capability is restricted by the disability. Sometimes the capability is restricted by the mindset. Okay, so there are few people who do things in their way, whatever you do. So you have to find that specific cultural assessment, that what is the problem that is causing it. Is it a organization culture that is impacting it? People sometimes don't want to do it because it increase their it expose them. So for example, if you now you will understand and you will accept this one, that whenever you implement something related to performance, like if it is calculating their performance, like queue management system in banks. I was in National Bank today because one of my companies sell queue management system to banks. So if you implement queue management system, what happens? Printer roll finished, they don't bother to change the roll. If the system is down, they will be last one to complain it until somebody from quality department identify why your system is down. Then they say we already made a call and things like that. So or hand punch machine, like the biometric attendance devices. So the things that control people's behavior are hard to implement. People will try to breach it. People will try to break it. People will try to play around it. People try to ignore it. Okay, so that all goes to the cultural assessment, that what is happening. Then you also have to understand how it is impacting, how your solution is impacting the stakeholders. Is it the same positivity and high morality that we discuss is still the same thing for that stakeholders? Maybe the stakeholders are changed now, users are changed, they are next generation people, or they are different people, the old people are promoted. So is it still impacting them the way it was supposed to be impacting, or it is impacting them negatively? So you have to find what is that negativity, and you have to remove that negativity. Sometimes you have to assess the organization structure changes. Sometimes that the person who was using the system was at for example middle management level. Now he moved to the upper grade, but still he has to do it, and he doesn't have much time. So what are the structural changes that have impacted your system? Or sometime you find out, like my solution need a structural change in the organization. Like I need this cannot be done by this person. It has to be uh, uh, transferred to somebody at the lower stage, or sometime a dedicated person is required to run the system. So you suggest that okay, there is no harm in doing it. So uh, you know uh, one of my company makes solution for restaurant industry. So yeah, I told you some of the examples from them. So like some of the customers come to us and say they need food cost. It's a simple thing. Food cost means if you buy a burger, okay, and there are 100 customers who bought a burger. At the end of the day, the restaurant management system should tell them that you have 100, if you had 110 buns, so 100 are gone. You have 120 patties, so 100 are gone, 20 is remaining. And then same thing for ketchups and mayonnaise and everything that includes. That is called food cost. Now, a lot of restaurants come to us and say, we need food cost. Now, even if you give them the solution, they can't run it until there is a dedicated person in the store to do this food cost, because somebody has to update it on daily basis, that how much inventory came, and then system calculates something which is theoretical. You have to then update on daily basis that how much, maybe someone has, like while preparing it went on the floor, lost. Sometimes you just forget to close the lid of a mayonnaise for 1 hour, and that's gone. It's freezed, or it's exposed, and or sometimes you just drop a olive oil bottle and that's gone. So these things have to be updated in the system for proper costing. Otherwise, you will not have a proper costing. So when you tell them there is a dedicated person needed, for this job, and he has to have this all experience, knowledge to run it. And then some of them who really needs it and who see the benefit of it will definitely have it, otherwise they don't. So this is not 100% mandatory that every system will be run by the same people in the branches or in the office. Sometimes it needs a dedicated separate. So you have to identify the organization structural changes. Sometimes someone else was supposed to do it. Now you say no, this is not. That's why it's not working. Somebody else has to do it. Okay, so that's operational assessment. Operational assessment goes into the how many complaints came from that in that system. What were those complaints? You assess this, and then you sometimes you become a customer and test that system or sit with them and observe. You remember the observation technique. So all this applies here. I have two questions before we move to the next thing. It's no proper training. Yeah, of course, no proper training could be one of the reason that system is not properly used. So that goes into the enterprise limitation that maybe you trained it, but that training has not been duplicated, or maybe it's not part of the training manual when the new staff is hired. So it has to be part of the training manual when the new staff is joined or he's been promoted for this position. Maybe he's been trained on several different things but not this one, so this has to be. So yeah, you're right, absolutely, Mr. Azhar. I think very good aspect, so we're giving 5 points. Okay, Mr. Muzaffar is saying if commission rate like nadara charges, link charges, agent commission is increased suddenly, then we need to evaluate our business process as well. Yes, see again, Muzaffar. Yes, you have to. This is if I'm a BA, I would definitely do that, because if you don't do this, then you will not be able to find the solution for that as well. So this is important, number one. But again, you have to whatever you want to evaluate, you first add it to the measurement criteria. If it's already there, very good. If it's not there and you decide to have it, then first add it and then evaluate. And if you find out that has increased, then it's if is it in your control. That's very important. So for example, if nadara charges in your control, then okay. If not in your control, but you are then if it's not in your control, there is no point in evaluating. But again, there could be one aspect that you can say that okay, the nadara charges are increased, so it increase our operational cost, so we have to increase the fee for the from the customer, or maybe you have to escalate it to the right people so they think about it somehow. Okay.
Actually, I also want to share one example here
Yes, please.
regarding this Dandra charges. Uh, Once I was working in some microfinance bank, at that time their main products were the Easy Pesa.
Easy
So
person.
first time when SBP made that payments biometrics, their operational cost suddenly increased.
True.
So what we did then, if a customer is coming for first time, then we are also capturing their images at our databases. So when next time the same customer is coming on the behalf of CNIC, we check if the images are stored in our local databases. We verify from there, and if customers
Beautiful.
images are not found, then we send request to Nadra. This was the one
Beautiful.
way we reduce the cost.
See, this is so because it was critical, you actually evaluated that 5 point for Mr. Muzaffar. So everybody understands, see, because it was important, they identified the cost, and based on this, they decided to keep additional database for first time. The people who were coming first time, they kept the database, and next time they actually searched this database first. A small change in program, but that would have saved them millions. So this is beautiful thing actually. See, so you actually note it down if it really is helpful for you, and there could be a lot of different ways to reduce the cost. One of this is again you are checking it by yourself, and there could be other ways as well. Like like there are packages, there are APIs, which maybe a state bank will tell you, okay, buy it for X million, and you can do it unlimited. So maybe there are companies internationally that provide this facility, and these are cheaper than the actual organization. So for example, if you are in US and you are validating somebody's driving license or NIC or XYZ from direct population, federal federal, they have some ministry for that, I forget. From there, they charge you, for example, I don't know the exact, but for example, $1. There are third-party companies in US that charge for the same thing. They charge maybe like some 1 cent. It's that much difference. 99 percent efficiency or discount from that party, and that's same thing as for them, and probably they do the same thing. So they buy the database, and then they actually help you validating that, or they prepare that database. I don't know how this works, but yes, somebody have thought about it and then have taken an action. So you are absolutely right. We have given you points for that as well. Great. Yes. So see, this is the point of solution evaluation. So if you evaluate the solution, but see, Mr. Muzaffar, if the requirement comes from the business user, and then you did this one, so it will still not go to the solution evaluation. It will go to the requirement elicitation, okay, and then solution approach, and then implementation. The solution evaluation could be that you do it today again, you assess that, and you find out that is it still saving the same amount of money or not. So maybe you find out that like the existing number of customers are reducing with percentage of time, and new customers are increasing, so that cost is not same. And then what you can do for that is also one of the mechanism. So there is little difference between solution evaluation. So your explanation is proper, but if you have done it based on the requirement, it will go to the elicitation. So you have to do it today to evaluate whether when you have done it, it was giving the right results. So is it giving you the right results today or not? And maybe something else comes up by that. Okay, so we have to discuss two small points, but there is a salah break. I guess it's 4:30, so we'll have a break for 15 minutes, and we'll join you at 4:45. Okay. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, you can write on. The Slido, please. Thank you. Mr. Kazi is adding some points, adding some of his requests on the Slido. Please, I would appreciate if you can read it. Thank you. Sharing the Slido screen, so anybody who don't have the Slido number can get it. All right, thank you. Hassan, this is the Slido number 98659. All right, everyone, we are starting the session. Thank you for a lot of yes. Kazi have given one feedback link. Please give your feedback on the Google as well. Okay, now before going on session, we had we have a very beautiful point from Mr. Azhar, I guess. Go down. Okay. Very good question, Azhar. What is the life of any solution? Beautiful question, actually. We actually, our session was supposed to answer that question in the last slide, but it's good that you asked, so we can discuss it now. Okay, so solution, the age of the solution or the life of the solution, it depends on a lot of different aspects. But one thing for sure, if you do your solution evaluations timely, and not only do solution evaluation, take the recommended actions, the solution lives multiply. Okay, because you are doing a solution evaluation and you are identifying the areas where it needs improvement, the life multiplies. Usually a software life is considered internationally, it's considered to be 5 years if there is no major change. So major change is, again, if you do a solution evaluation 6 months, 1 year, and you keep updating that solution according to your business requirement, it will not only help you better performance, but it will actually help you saving your cost millions of dollars. Okay, now the infrastructure, only upgrading the infrastructure, and technology change is not that major in terms of major technologies. Of course, the smaller little technologies are always changing. So if you keep on evaluating your solution, you always find a way to cope up a little bit upgrades. So major change will not impact this much as it was required. But again, it depends. Some of the areas need changes every 5 years. Okay, or if a new, you can call it as in SWOT analysis. You mentioned, a lot of you mentioned in SWOT analysis the disruptive technologies. So this what it that they create their impact, and you have to somehow. But again, if you are doing a solution evaluation, you will not be surprised, and you will save millions of dollars for your company. Okay, I have a comment from Mr. Muzaffar. Software solution life should be based on technology or business value. Both, actually. It's a combination. So definitely business value is number one, because if it's creating a same business value, then why change? But it's not only the technology. Because you are in a technology business, uh, don't try to focus only on business, because the technology plays a major role. So, for example, if you think that your core banking system and your relevant systems are very, are achieving business values, no problem. But the technology is moving into blockchain. So if you don't see the future of blockchain, the time will come. If you don't upgrade your system, the time will come when the companies who were using the blockchains, or the companies who were moving toward those disruptive technologies, will come up with a campaign, with a products that your company will not be able to compete for next 3-4 years, and this will be a very big disadvantage. So keep it in mind. Technology, actually nowadays, it's a technology business. Ever than before, today the technology is more than a business itself. Let me give you an example again, because I'll give you an example that you all know. So I'll not give you example of a lot of banks, but something that is, banks are already having a lot of money, like a lot of technology saving thing. But think about restaurants. Think about McDonald's, for example. Can you imagine they have more IT equipments than the cooking equipments in some? Can you imagine? Let me give you a little bit glimpse about it. Before, like all these IT and all this stuff was going into a division called equipments. That's restaurant terminology for handling all the kitchen equipments. And so the IT was there. I'm talking about 15 years ago. But now, IT division, or the assets cost of IT, is more than any other specific department in total. If you consider building material, then of course, otherwise nothing. So can you imagine if a restaurant is becoming a technology business? You go there, you order by yourself. Okay, you are at home, you want to order, you open an app and you order. So if that is specific, that's the lowest business, right? This is the lowest business. Anybody can start it without any certification, without any experience, without any lot of investment even. Okay, you can start your food business easily than starting a bank. So can you imagine? This is more of a technology business. So every business in this age is a technology business. So we cannot segregate business from technology. So consider this point. But you have a good point. So I'm giving 5 points to Muzaffar and 10 points to other. Yeah, like Nokia, of course, Muzaffar. Good example, Nokia. Yeah, that's the only difference between them was they were thinking themselves as as a fan club, and they were not able to opt to the technology. Not only Nokia, yeah, five, and not only Nokia, but also BlackBerry, and like all these things. They were the latest. I still remember using their phone for sending emails at a time when emails were not like properly coming to a laptop. You were sending emails from the mobile, but not considering certain aspects. So good. Late joined due to some urgency, anonymous. I'm expecting it's Hassan. So just change your name uh, on Slido so we know who's talking. Muzaffar, so please cover the different examination offered by. Okay, now we will go to this point. Let me finish it so we reach to the exam thing. Okay, now you have measured the success. You have measured the evaluation data. You have analyzed the data. You have identified the solution limitation. You identified the enterprise level limitation. Now you recommend. In recommending the actions to increase solution value, First, you have to adjust the parameter. As I said, that you might have to reduce the expectation or increase the expectation depending on what is it. Okay, and then you recommend your action. You say nothing has to be done. It's okay. It's going ahead. Or you recommend an organization change, like training is needed. People has to be changed. Some equipments are needed, or some equipments needs upgrade. Reduce the complexity, like it's too hard to use still. We have to reduce the complexity so people will use it more easily. This happens with your smartphone applications. Usually, like you launch the application, you find out it's not, people are not able to use it, and then you reduce the complexity to move forward. Eliminate the redundancy. If there is anything which is redundant in terms of two different systems or in terms of within the system, remove that redundancy. Avoid waste wherever you can. If it's wasting time, like reports takes longer, reduce it. If you avoid waste, not only time but also the data entry could be a waste. A lot of fields which are not, maybe when it was made it was useful, now it's not and still required, so people have to put like any date, whether it's not anymore required, remove it. If you can't remove it, then just you are the developer, just tell him put this date automatically and hide the column. Put some more efficient information instead. Additional capabilities. This is additional capabilities includes adding some features, removing some features, enhancing the technology behind it. So maybe you at the time when you develop a system, you don't know there is three-tier technology. So now maybe going to three-tier technology could help you making better programs or performance efficiencies. So thinking about it is the right time, the right way. Okay, or maybe like going for the it's taking longer time to update the system, so you can thinking about migrating to a new technology. This is also one of the things. So phase by phase, maybe a new things will start coming up in new technology, and then whatever technology, whatever features are added will be new technology, things like that. Or you just simply decide to retire the system, that this system is not anymore required. It's we maybe it's useless, or maybe it's not giving the right results, so maybe we have to redevelop it, consider this as sunk cost, or maybe we have to find a vendor for this or buy something ready made. Okay, so you retire it. This is what is the solution evaluation is there. So that's what we do actually in solution evaluation. Mr. Mohammed Azhar Javed is asking removal of unused option. Yes, I told you this point, that yes, this is one of the very important uh, task that business analyst should do. Remove the unused options. This increase the product efficiency. If there is a if it has unused options which are not used, you first try to find out why they are not used, and increase its efficiency. Otherwise you just remove it. It reduces the load, it reduces the chances of error. It helps you focus on the area. So tomorrow, for example, if you want to redevelop it or enhance it or change the technology, you only have to focus on the features which are available, and which are not used you already remove them. So absolutely right. Muzaffar, using barcode to minimize the data entities. Yeah, see, this is one of the good examples. So later on, maybe this you can find out while doing a solution evaluation, that like if I can rather than data entry, it's a waste. We can just read a QR code and it has all the information. So beautiful, Muzaffar. Thank you for this point. I'm giving 5 points to Muzaffar and others. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. I think we are finished with this topic of solution evaluation. Now we have two areas, which is the quiz, the grand quiz, I would say. I just say I'm not wearing my coat. So it's okay, because my mother told me to wear coats because it brings respect. Now in 9 days, I already have your respect, so it's okay to remove it. But we are done actually. We have done our course, alhamdulillah. Now it's a time for a quiz. Now this quiz is a grand quiz. There are 8 questions, 50 point each question, so it's 400 points in total. But it's not like you have to answer all the right questions to win. It's every question will have a winner. So every question will get you 50 points. Okay, so if you win all 8 questions, you get 400 points. Okay, and if you were like 100 points, you are ahead than our leader Arsa, and you will win this beautiful gift. Trust me, just few minutes ago, I was also feeling jealous about these. So beautiful gifts. Okay, I'm moving you to the Slido. Please join me on Slido. If you are not on Slido, trust me, you don't want to lose this opportunity. Join me on Slido. I'm going to start a quiz. This quiz will be 400 points in total, but remember, only and only winner of each question will get 50 points for each answer. This is not an easy quiz. Okay. So lot of you, trust me, can still make to this gift. 400 points. 50 points for each question. Every question will have separate winner for 50 points. We have 11 participants so far in the quiz. I need a little more. How many participants we have in Zoom? 21. So minus 3, it's still 18, 19. I'll wait for 4 more participants to start. In last 1 hour, I would like to add that Mr. Azhar have got 20 points uh, for the participation. Mr. Muzaffar 30 points, Farooq Salim 5 points, and Arsa 5 points for the participation. But that's probably a lock on participation. Now this will be the quiz will be the real determinant of the winners. We have 12 participants so far. I still need 2-3 more to start. There are 19 active participants on Zoom. I need a little more, please. Everybody join. If you are having issue in joining Slido or this quiz, please unmute yourself and let me know. I'll help. Just by finishing this quiz with right answers, you could be part of the same race of winners. All right, so I'm starting the quiz now. First question for 50 points each. Coming your way. You have 30 seconds. All right. Okay, as expected, these are not easy questions, 50 point each. Yes, so you remember we discussed this in our earlier sessions when we were discussing business analysis, planning and monitoring. How the traceability will be created is decided in the business analysis approach. All right, so we have lesser number of right answers, but very good try, everybody. All right, sorry, hold on. Just hold on, okay. Okay, this question, the right answer are only from Muhammad Adnan and Muhammad Saqib, but Muhammad Adnan given the answer in 23 seconds. So Muhammad Adnan, 50 points for you. Perfect, sir. Excellent. Go ahead and inshallah you will have 500, 400 points together. Okay, next question. 50 points. Each question, separate winner. Yes. 30 seconds. Good. Oops. All right. I was not expecting this to be this hard answer. All right. So if a company wants to get early feedbacks on the requirements, definitely use case scenarios is not a good option because still the requirements are not properly made. Concept modeling is a totally scope related thing. User stories, again, use case scenarios, same thing. Prototyping is the right answer. Prototyping gets you the requirement right away. That's what we do, sketching the requirement, remember? Yes. All right. Arsa, Shiraz, Saqib, Farooq, Adnan, all of you given the right answer, but we have to choose the winner. So the winner is Arsa with answer within 39 seconds. Beautiful. All right. Now this is the competition is increasing. Trust me, she was already leading and now 50 points ahead. So maybe somewhere in 500, but still Farooq, you have chance. All right. And also Saqib, Shiraz and Adnan, I'm sure still you have chance. All right. Moving to the third question. 30 seconds. Time bomb. All right. So PA need not to do anything. Is it possible? Okay, 21%. Okay. Yeah, it was a hard question. So see, if the requirements, definitely requirements always be mixture. We discussed this when we were discussing the type of requirements, and we discussed that if you are getting even functional requirement and you don't know the stakeholder and business requirement, you get it. So requirements can come at any level. So the only thing P needs to do is do nothing. It's okay. The requirements could come. All right. All right, Saqib. Good. Excellent. Next question, 50 points. All right, this was hard question. Uh, yeah, this was hard question. So it's okay. The right answer is see because the two entities, two companies are merged and they have to use the same system, and the list of stakeholders increased. So Ali can so the right. So all three answers, A, 1, 2, and 3 are right answers actually. But what Ali can do, but what is the best answer among them is the Ali can choose the decision makers from large group, like whichever company is larger, and keep others in the regular communication. This is the best way of doing this project. He can definitely go to the sponsor as well, but this is the right B approach. Hassan Raza Khan. All right. Great, Hassan. Good going. Welcome back. Next question, 50 point each, coming your way. All right. Beautiful. It's been great. That's more than anticipated. Absolutely right answer, because you want to reduce cost of upcoming projects. So identifying as much as reusable requirement is the right answer. Beautiful. Saqib. Hmm. Good. Uh, Excellent, Saqib. Good going. Next question coming your way. Okay. Least true. Or I didn't see that coming. So, okay. So again, all the answers are correct except one, because see, if you see the question is a little tricky. It's said which of the following statement is least true. I tried to caps it all of it and bold it. No, bold is not working, but still I'll try to caps it. It will not happen in actual exams. This is the key. Which of the following statement is least true? So now everything is true except that the lesson learned activity is restricted to agile methodology. Who says lesson learned can be anything and anybody can do anywhere? So that's the right answer. Good try, everybody, because everything was all the answers are correct. But the point is, which of the following statement is least true? Okay, let's see the winner. All right, Hassan Raza Khan. Oh, Hassan, great. Absolutely right. Excellent. Excellent.
Thank you.
Okay, next question coming your way. All right, we have the answers. Use case and scenario. Now, this is important to understand. It's actually not a business analyst, it's a stakeholder, Asad. Is very keen on helping you as a business analyst, and you want him to use the technique. Use case and scenarios are not user friendly things. All right, these are hard things. Functional point specification is not even a technique. Sequence diagram is not related to this specific thing. It's a scope related modeling. So of course, user stories. That's what user can write easily. You don't need to train him on a lot of areas. So yeah, right answer is user stories. Shiraz. All right. Shiraz. Good. Beautiful. Excellent. Okay, moving next. What should Ali do in this case? All right. Some are saying that he should evaluate the risk arising out of new director of operation into the risk register. The new director is not joined yet. How can you assess the risk without meeting him? Our stakeholder analysis is depending on the people's availability. Update the BA communication plan and distribute the stakeholder for the update. He didn't join yet. Update the Reiki metrics and communicate all to the stakeholder. It's not his decision. The Reiki, like he didn't join yet, and it's not his decision. So definitely the only right answer here is Ali doesn't have to do anything until it's formally joined, and then you do the stakeholder analysis, and then you recommend the solution. A little tricky question, but yes, that's the right answer. Arsa, beautiful Arsa have win this answer. All right, and there we go. This we finished it now. Great. Also, the overall competition, Arsa have won because she answered 50% of the right answers. Shiraz have answered 50%. Great, excellent, perfect, guys. Thank you very much for your participation. I'm stopping this poll. Meanwhile, I will be adding these points to find out the winner of today. Okay. Meanwhile, I'm starting a new poll. Just you can give me your feedback. This feedback is for me. So give me your feedback about this thing. I'll be back in few minutes with the gift. All right. Hello, everyone. Just need. I hope you given me the feedbacks. I'm stopping the feedbacks. Okay, just need few years before we start the session, just to make sure everybody is there to see the winner of participation award. Your feedback is full. No, actually, the points thing finished with the quiz. All right, everybody here. So I'm going to. We are going to find out who have won such beautiful. Trust me, I'm jealous. All right. So I have to choose 3 winners. This time, this is the first time I'm going to choose. Usually it's always one, so I'm not that much jealous because it's only one person winning from me, but now 3 people are winning. So a little bit jealous. Okay, I'm going to show you the latest points. All right. All right. So we have our winners. Arsa have won 602 points along with Farooq and Muzaffar Ali Umrani. All right. What a great change. Wow. Beautiful. So excellent. All 3 of you, actually everybody have done a great, tremendous participation. I have never seen this kind of participation in even a physical session. This was an online session, so marvelous. Uh, I hope you have enjoyed the session, and you guys have won this beautiful prizes. So all
Thank
3
you
of
very much.
you,
What's inside
all
it?
3 of you. That's a surprise.
Thank you.
Let me know. Yeah. So you want to show all of
Still a
them? Yeah.
surprise.
Okay. Yeah. So once you find it, let me know. Okay. But I'm sure it must be very good based on the specifications. So it must be good. All right. So thank you all, everyone. Actually, I wish all of you, including me, could win the participation award. But it goes like this. Okay. Kazi is writing something on the wall. He is writing in order to collect your in order to collect your participation award, you have to come to DHA branch of Omni. Kazi is going to share the address. You can come there. You can collect your gift as well as certificate, and you have to like take some pictures so that it looks amazing on our portfolio as well. Thank you very much, everyone. DHA branch address, Kazi will share. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. It was great. Now we are moving to the last part of our session, which is, anybody want to say anything?
Sir, I was expecting the certification coupon for this.
All right. Certification coupon for CBAP?
Yeah, for taking the exam of CBAP.
Who's talking?
Sam
Can
Farooq.
you tell me your name? Farooq. Okay.
Yeah.
Farooq, there is no token for exam. Actually, you can give exam by yourself. There is already 20 or 30% off is going on. We will discuss this right now. Okay.
Any credit hours are also included?
Yes, that's what you did. You spent 35 precious hours of your life with me, and I really thank you for that. Hassan, actually, I was expecting you to also be part of those winners, but you were not that much participative, especially yesterday. People have won like up to 200 points. So, wish you best of luck for next session. So, yeah. So we are moving to our last part. If anybody have to say anything, especially so please you can unmute yourself now.
Sir, today the questions are very, very hard as compared to the last 10 sessions. And the lengthy as well.
Yeah.
Seems the actual exam questions.
Yeah, they were actual exam questions. And two of you already passed. Arsa and Kashif, both of you already passed that, if that was the live exam. Yeah, these were actual exam questions. I wanted to give you how they come. So I have been telling you see, they will not be easy as me, you know. So, but you will be able to do it very easily. You just have to practice the exams. I'll guide you on a lot of areas now. All these type of questions are mentioned. Okay, so okay, thank you very much. I have few questions. Shiraz, I hope first prize will not be a doll. Definitely, that's not a doll. All right. See who's talking. All right. I have a question from Mr. Azhar Javed. How we will get the certificate? Kazi, you would like to answer? Yeah, I'm getting his answer. Hold on.
Sir, your contact number has not been given till yet.
इनके ऑफिस में मिलेगा? Okay, so certificates will be sent to your office within a week time, so you can get it from your coordinator. The exam, however, the winners can get their certificate along with this gift and beautiful pictures on Sunday. All right, so Sunday, okay, from their DHA branch, okay, or you can coordinate with Kazi. I'll share his number. Okay, let's. So, any words from the three winners? Any words?
Sir, actually, it's,
Well, I do not expect this thing. Can I say something?
Yes.
Yeah, I do not expect this thing. But yes, I thoroughly enjoyed your session because I haven't taken this CBAP training or the business analysis specific this course. So I haven't been taking this thing. So it is a new experience for me, and I have learned many things from your session. So thank you so much for having us in your platform.
Pleasure is mine. Yes, yes,
sir,
please.
Congratulations for the winner, sir. And it's overall, it was a very great experience. And honestly, this is the first online training which I participated. Very, very engaging and so interesting. because before these trainings, the online training was like I was just sleeping. So it was very good and very interesting overall, and very knowledgeful also. So thank you so much for this great training.
Thank you, Azhar. Your participation was much needed, and that's the thing. Your participation actually have made this session so alive. That's why we are giving it to winners. Yes, please.
Sir,
Actually, this is a
sir, can we have any contact number for coordination for any question or when we are giving the exam? So we didn't get till yet.
I'll share. Yes,
actually
winners.
this is
This is Arif Raza. First of all, many congrats to the winners. Congratulations to the winners. And the second thing I would what I missed that, first time, this online session has been it has been really fed up for me because we had some releases going on, so I had to go on and off and all the time. I would love if we would have a face-to-face session. So I would have loved that.
True.
Like, this is the first time I'm missing that.
All right. Thank you, Arif. Pleasure was mine. Yes, winners.
Actually, it's a great session. Initially, I was not ready to attend the session as my boss nominated me for the ITIL. Then surprisingly, when I saw that I am enrolled in CBAP, so I was not ready to take in that. So then I decided let's go for a day. Then my interest thoroughly built, and I think it's a very great session, and I learned a lot of things. Thanks.
Thank you, Muzaffar. Winner? I think one winner is missing still. Yeah. Okay. All right, no problem. Thank you very much. Actually, pleasure was mine. Thank you all for your participation. If you have any questions, you can write on Slido. I'm moving towards the last part of our session, which is related to exams. Hope your questions will be answered. But if you have any questions, just put it on Slido. I'll take it up. All right. So I just remember something from Muzaffar saying, he was expecting something else, and then he found himself enrolled in the BA session. That happened to me when I was 14, 15 years. I don't know, something like. So actually, the point is that I went to learn Foxborough. In an institute, Foxborough, because one of my cousin was earning good salary, so I thought I should also learn Foxborough. I went there, and I find out that the course was full. So they said there is something called Oracle, and they said you can get admission in this. I never heard of it. Actually, never heard of Foxborough except cousin is working, so I didn't know what is it. So they said, if you go in this one, we have less participation. I can give you 50% discount. I said, okay, it's okay. Let me see what is it. And that actually turned my career. I can't tell you that, I've been in programming for so many years, supported lots of organizations, and then moved to the analysis career. And but whatever I am today, I actually related to that point that Muzaffar reminds us. Sometimes you just climb to a bus that destined for something else, but that defines your destiny. I hope this would have added some skills set that will help you. We always say while doing the career guidance for the freshers, you are already experienced, mashallah. We always say that usually you are just one skill away from your success. So usually we reach to the middle management or middle career level, and we always focus on one skill that we had, and we try to polish that, we try to enhance that. Without knowing, we are actually one skill away from the success. So it's not one skill that made you success. It's actually a combination of minimum two skills. So learning an additional skill is what is required for the success. Thank you very much. I have few questions. Muzaffar, you will get answer in next coming slides. Sayyid Arif, Qazi Saab, please let me in. Just lost the connection. Okay. Will you share? Yes, of course. Okay. So I'm moving to last portion of our. Okay, so this is all about this certification. So we'll discuss about the exam roadmap, how you should prepare, what you should prepare for, the frequently asked questions, eligibility criteria, exams, how they are made, some individual plans, preparing, and then we'll discuss the detail uh, uh, templates and all this stuff. Okay, so exam related, you have to, so it's actually 3 phases are there. So usually we suggest that you can do it in like 6 weeks time. 6 weeks are more than enough. So if you just start plan for 6 weeks, it's the right amount of time that you can spend dedicatedly and get the exam clear in 6 weeks. But if you try to delay it for next year, then that year will not come. Okay, so if you are really interested in this certification, how you start is you just start by reading business analysis body of knowledge for at least 3 weeks, and then you do the for at least 3 weeks, and then you do start the exam simulations. The exam simulations are available online. I'll also share lots of exam questions with you now, but remember that the exam question that I'm sharing is in a Word file, so it's hard for you to attempt that exam question and then see how you are performing. So it's always recommended to have one what you call it exam simulators online. The best way to do is in this session you might have your colleagues sitting with you, or if not, at least they are in the same company, so you can like together 3, 4 people, 5 people, or maybe 10 people can buy one simulator, and that simulator is valid for, I think, again, like 3 months, or maybe it's a minimum is 3 months. So that simulator will be valid for 3 months, or so you can all like 10 people can share the cost and try that simulator together, and they give the exams. Okay, so that's what we suggest you do in the simulator. There are 2 ways of attempting to exam. One is the knowledge area wise, another is full scape exam. So what we are suggesting, 3 weeks you are reviewing the first business analysis body of knowledge, and the 3rd week you start knowledge area wise exam, and you don't move to the next knowledge area until you achieve 90% results on each knowledge area. You start full simulating full exam in week 5 when you get minimum 90% in all knowledge area. Then you start full simulation exam, and the simulators are so beautiful that once you make a wrong answer, they relate you that why you are wrong and what you have to read from the body of knowledge. No other book is needed. Then we also suggest that you first week, as soon as you decide, or maybe while doing this session, go to IIBA website and get your membership. For Pakistanis, luckily our membership fees is less as compared to the rest of the countries. Then you get the exam application filled, and I'll share my contact details. I'll help you in exam application. If you need any support, you can, before submitting the application, if you want me to review, I can review that. You can also use my reference as your exam in your exam application. This will help you. This have helped a lot. Then you have to pay for exam fees as well. Once you pay the exam fees, you have to do the exam within 1 year. So that's actually a push for you. Okay. Then you buy the Watermark Learning Exam Simulator. That's the highest success ratio. The people who buy this simulator, I'm not selling. I'm not there's like salesman or not getting any commission, but this is so far the best one as I'm aware about. You can search for others as well, but this is the one which is best and cost effective, especially if 10 people want to do it together, so that will be a penny in cost. Then you apply for the exam and give the exam in 6th week. Any questions here? You can ask me on Slido. Okay, any tracks? Yeah. Any cracks for simulator is available? Sayyid Arif Raza? Not as of now, actually. Yeah, not as of now, but that's a crack, So one person can buy and 10 can share. That's a better way of cracking. But no, it's not, because everything is web-based. PMP, everything is cracks are available, but not for this one at the moment. If you find something, you can share with your peer colleagues. Yes. Any other questions? You can write me on Slido. Moving next slide. Okay. Now there could be questions that what is the passing ratio? How many times the exam is taken? What is the passing rate? Now we don't have exact data, but as a business analyst community, we discuss this a lot. And whenever somebody pass or fail, there are forums where they report things like this. So what we get from them is 70% of the people 70% of the people pass it at their first attempt, and I think this number is less. Actually, this would be more. There are higher number of first time passers. It's very easy exam, especially the way you attempted this exam shows me that like you all guys are more having a higher IQ than the people who would have achieved it. So I think this is easy. Again, the passing ratio is 80% so far. As we get, it's not the IABA number, but that's what we get. So could be a question that what is the timeline of the end-to-end process? How much time it takes? So it takes 1 week for you to get your application approved, and if you are doing it properly, there is no application rejection. So far, like 60 plus participants who attended the session have cleared the exam and are CBAP, and none of their application is rejected once. So but make sure you involve me whenever you have a problem, or before submitting, I'll support you. Okay, the main time constraint is the 1 year. This is, you have to understand, once you do the application, there is 1 year that you have to fix it. But I think it's maximum 6 weeks you give yourself and you do it. If you put it on 1 year thing, then that year will not come. Usually 6 weeks is more than enough, okay, which is 100 hours or 120 hours in total. People may ask question that is there a negative marking? There is no negative marking. So if you give wrong answer, it doesn't matter. Only the right answers are matters. I have a question here, Mr. Adnan. I have asked you in start of the training that is there any criteria that this much hours you should be on project, like hours or years? Yes, there is a criteria. You will get answer in coming slide. Okay. Yes, so this is your answer, Mr. Adnan. It's called CBAP eligibility criteria. Now there are different certifications we'll discuss because Mr. Mazhar have asked the question. So yeah, CBAP needs at least 5 years of experience. So 5 years of experience, which is 7,500 hours of business analysis work in past 10 years. So out of 10 years, you must have 7,500 hours or 5 years in business analysis. Now, this is very important in business analysis. Now, if you are very good in business analysis and you look for career in business analysis, but you don't have experience of 5 years, but you have experience of other things in 5 years, you can relate that experience to business analysis without telling them. Okay, so for this, I will share one Excel sheet. If you need any suggestion, you can reach me anytime and I would be able to get back to you on your questions. If you do not achieve the 5 years but you want to go for the exam, so I can help you identifying whether it would be good for you or not. Okay, now for each, if you are going for CBAP, you need 5 years, but 5 years has to be distributed while giving the exam application. I'll share each knowledge area you have to spend 900 hours each. So this is nothing actually a distribution of your business analysis activities. So there is an Excel sheet that I have prepared. I'll share it with you. You can easily distribute it and it will really be time saving for you, and you will not miss this aspect. So there is mandatory 35 hours of training. So you have actually done it. So remember day 1 and today it's 10 days, 3.5 hours each day. So it's 35 hours. So the training certificate you will get you to the certification without any doubt. I have a relevant question. Mr. Azhar Jawad is asking, is there a reattempt option? Yes, of course, you can reattempt after 3 months of failure. If you if you fail, but I don't think so. There is any possibility that if you prepare well and you have the watermark learning simulator exam question and you only attempt it once you have started reaching 90% in simulator, there is no chance that you will, inshallah, that you will fail the exam or you will need a reattempt. Reattempt have some fees associated. I'll share a file where you can find all these fees. Okay, now somebody had a question related to fees and different certifications. So here we are. So CBAP is the certification which is the highest level of certification so far. Because we are very earlier business analysts, so we have been already approached by IABA for a certification called CMAP Certified Master, CBAM actually, Certified Business Analyst Master. So that will be the certification will be starting from the industry leaders. So we are already approached for that. It will not be available for market maybe like next 1-2 years. But the people who are CBAP for I don't know what number of years they have this criteria, so they can only go for Certified Business Analysis Master and through a written exam. So, okay, in addition to CBAP, which is the highest level of certification so far, in CBAP, there is something called CCBA. So, Certification in Competency of Business Analysis. So, that is having a lower, you can say, lower requirement of business analysis experience. So, you have 5 years of experience. For CBAP. For CCBA, you have 2.5 years of experience. And ECBA is entry-level certificate in business analysis. You don't need any experience for that. Okay, so you need 5 years of experience CBAP, 2.5 years of experience CCBA, and no experience needed for ECBA. If you do ECBA, the next certificate you can do is CCBA and then CBAP. Okay, there are 2 more certification. AAC Agile Analyst Certification, IIB Agile Analyst Certification. So, in addition to the CBAP preparation that you have already done, there is a small book. We call it Extension, Agile Extension. Few chapters related to Agile. You have to consider those before you give the exam. Few questions related to that. CBAD is Certificate in Business Development, Business Database Analyst. Okay, Certified Business Database Analyst by IABA. That certification also same as CBAP, along with a small extension book of 4 chapters related to business database analysis. Okay, so these are the certifications. CBAP is one of the most precious and considered as authentic certification for business analysis around the world. Okay. Okay, I have questions. What is the approximate simulators cost? I'm not sure the exact amount because they change it like the one if you see on the screen. IAB also reduced their fees. So I'm sure if IAB has reduced it, simulator or watermark will be reducing it as well, but it will be somewhere around $100 maximum. In this course cover, I have a question from Hassan. Hassan Raza is actually congratulating all the team members for their efforts and interest. Thank you, Hassan. Shiraz have a question. Is there a course cover or prepare to attempt PMI PBA as well? All right, good question by Shiraz. Because this session was 100% focused on CBAP, so we didn't talk a lot about PMI PBA. But trust me, there is a body of knowledge I'm going to share with you. And once you start reading it, and if you are attentive in this session, there is nothing we have left. So we have already covered. There are people who are afraid of CBAP. They do the PMI PBA first from the same session. You don't need anything else. This course is already capable of, so you can apply with this course in PMI PBA, no problem. And you can prepare for the exam immediately from one book, and it will be far easier than CBAP for you now. I hope I answered your question, Shiraz. If you have more questions, you can put it on Slido. Hassan, at least top 5 should be considered for gift. I wish, Hassan, everybody, including me, should be considered for gift, but that's a hard reality. World is not, not good place for a people like us, uh, innocent, and we want the rewards without participation. The world doesn't work like this. Okay. Okay, but of course, I'm sure. Yeah, next session, if we come across, I'll do some jugaad for both of us. Yes, yes. Okay. Kazi is saying that Hassan was very participative, so you can come to the DHA, and maybe they can, cup, mug from Omni Academy. Okay, you get
Thanks a
you
lot.
get it. Okay. See, people is like a very important thing I would like to share with everybody, that the world is for askers. Like we sometimes be why should we ask? But world is for asker. The people who ask gets. Think about a small baby, like just born. If he didn't cry, the mother will not give feed. So that's how it works. So the world is for askers. Ask question, please. So you'll also get maybe something else. Okay, now moving forward, I have a question from Mr. Azhar Javed. Okay, I have to take a question from Hassan first. What is the market worth of this certification in terms of career opportunity or job? So it's like this: if you see a business analysis position in the market and you are CBAP, you get 90% chance of winning over competition, because there are not much CBAP in Pakistan. And the person who have given a job ad in the newspaper or everywhere, like, and he mentioned business analysis, the first thing he will see CBAP, he'll recommend. So you have far multiplier chances for job. If you talk about international, we don't hire people. When I was leading the international teams, we never hired a person who's not CBAP, or at least minimum prepared for CBAP. So I think it's a Salah break. We are taking a 10 minutes break this time, because we have to finish few things. So just 10 minutes break. It's 17:50, so we'll be back at 6 sharp. Please. So let me go back to the slide where we left. Okay. So I have few questions. I need to take a few questions. Yeah. So, Mr. Okay, go a little bit more. Exactly from here. So I have a question for Mr. Muhammad Azhar Javed. If anyone want a certification, which one is the best for career, PMP or CBAP? Actually, it depends. So by now you understand that both are different mindsets. Both are different type of individuals actually. So it's actually depends on who you actually are. If you feel that you are a good business analyst, going for CBAP is the right career choice. Or if you are a good project manager, going for PMP is the right one. If your question is between PMP and CBAP, then I would say that it's actually both are different mindset, both are different people, both are different, totally different individual. If I see a person, I can tell you that from his little bit activities, I can tell you that he could be a good project manager or business analyst. And trust me, like I can, like, out of 10, there could be 8 people that we can say that they could be a good project manager, but business analysts are rare. So if you really think that it fits you the way we understand it, the scope, the details, the reading capabilities, and all the stuff, then I suggest you go for CBAP, and there is more into it. But talking generally, the project management have more job openings, especially in Pakistan, as compared to business analyst job openings, if you talk about number of jobs. Okay. Mr. Muzaffar, I have a question. Is it possible you can share PMI PBA book? Yes, it is possible. Okay, yeah, actually, it's part of the material that I'm handing over. Hassan Raza Khan have a question. Thanks to Abu Bakr. Nice. Thank you, Hassan. Thanks for your participation. Okay, thank you very much. I think we take up all the questions. If you have more questions, you can ask now. Moving forward, so there is a discount on CBAP right now. So if you take up this application, you can save quantifiable amount. Okay, now how the exams are distributed. So that's how the standard exams are distributed. There is 14% questions will be from business analysis, planning, monitoring. Elicitation and collaboration will account for 12%. Requirement lifecycle management 15. Strategy analysis 15. Requirement lifecycle and design definition will have 30% of the questions, whereas solution evaluation 14% only. 120 MCQs, multi-choice questions. 120 there will be. The passing is 70% marks. The CBAP exam consists of 120 multiple questions. Okay, 3.5 hours you have. Okay. All the questions will be scenario and case study based. No direct like we were asking. So all of them will be scenario based.
Like the one we had today.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Now this is Ahde Wafa. So we will share this presentation slides with you. So you can take out this. You can take a print out of this. You don't need to fill it from computer. Take a print out. Okay. Ahde Wafa. If you really plan for a CBAP certification, print it out and write by your hand. What is your target date? And say yes if you committed to give 20 hours per week, which is like 2 to 3 hours every day. Target date for your membership, target date for your application submission, first target review date, second target review date, third target review date, and full exam simulation date. Committed to achieve 90% in simulator, and then target date for exam. Put your name, put your father name, or your husband name. Hereby commit that I will put all efforts, hard work, dedication, and focus required to achieve CBAP certification. I am fully committed to become CBAP, and okay, sign it. After that, make a photocopy. Put one in your office where everybody can see it, not only you, where everybody can see it, and put one in your home where everybody can see it. So this creates something called peer pressure. Okay, this will help you in achieving it. This has helped a lot of people, and I'm sure it can help you. So after Ahde Wafa, we are moving forward. Any questions on this, Ahad? Okay. Okay, moving forward. If you sorry, I'm this is called perspective. Okay, now yeah, if you see on the screen, this is how you will be evaluated your application. So there are two phases. Once you have to clear the application, that you give it to IIBA for CBAP, and the second phase is the exam. So it's actually two exams, you can say. One exam will be for your on your application, the things that you fill, and the other will be for your actual test. Yeah, I would more go for Farooq Salim's comment here on Slido. So, okay, now coming back. So this sheet, it's very simple. We made this sheet especially to support your application. So what you need, you put your projects here on the left side, start, end date, and how many days tentatively. Nobody is going to ask you for calendar and things like that. But mandatory to put vacation days. There will be definitely vacations. You can't just have a year with full working days considering COVID. So put vacation days. So total number of days will be calculated. System will automatically calculate all these fields. Okay, you don't need to fill any field. So the only thing you have to do is percentage of work. So you put this percentage of how much time you spent on this project in terms of percentage. You just have to put percentage in this Excel sheet. 5% time on planning, 5% time on elicitation, 20% on requirement lifecycle management, 42% on strategic analysis, 16% of this, 10%. It depends on project. If the project was related to probably a strategic analysis, then you spend more time on strategic analysis, otherwise requirement analysis and design definition. So what happens, it automatically distributes all these hours that are mentioned here in total hour for this project. We have to wait a little bit. Yeah, I don't want them to confuse. Yeah. Okay. So whatever total hours will be calculated based on these dates and the number of vacation periods, system will automatically distribute them. So you don't need to worry. The only thing is you have to put the percentage of each knowledge area. Once you put for all the knowledge areas, you have to see that the total analysis hours, this one, must be 5 years or 7,500 more. So I do not recommend with anything less than 9,000 here. So although 7,500 is required, but they do a lot of assessment in your projects and they assume a lot of things and they might reduce some percentage. So keep it 9,000 minimum. Okay, and then each knowledge area, no specific knowledge area should be less than 1,000. Okay, nothing should be more than less than 1,000. Okay, so it's mentioned here as well. If you fill this sheet, your application is a go green. There is nothing they cannot stop you. Except one more thing that I am discussing is the next slide. Okay, not in this slide. There's one Excel sheet that I will share. I'll show you. So while you are filling your Excel sheet, they will ask you for these number of hours that you will put. That's okay. But they will tell you what have you done, what task have you done in that project. And very secretly, they put project management tasks. So if you choose those tasks as part of this project, they will reduce certain number of hours from your experience because these are project management experience, not BA experience. So I have already highlighted those areas that you should not choose in the application, which will come next when I show you the Excel files. Okay. If you have any questions, you know how you can write on Slido. I'll take it up. Okay. Now, CBAP exam process is very simple. Everything is online. Even the exams nowadays is online. Since it's March 2020, after COVID, all the exams are home-based, online. You don't need to go to proctor centers or prometric centers. No, you can do it from your home. I'm sharing a screen now. I'm changing my screen. So you can see here. One minute, actually, something is it? Oh, great. Okay, there it is. Okay, I hope you can see the screen now. Yeah. Okay, I think it's loading. I have loaded it before, but it seems it was inactive, so it's reloading. Just give me a few seconds. Okay, so it's a website, iaba.org, International Institute of Business Analysis.org. You come here, it's better to go for membership because membership you pay $40 as Pakistani has less membership fee, but it saves you $150 in your examination. So it's very important to have the membership. If you remember the Ahde Wafa, we mentioned when you will apply for the membership. That's very important. As soon as you apply for membership, you at least become IIBA member and have access to the portal and a lot of different material as well. So this is the website. You go here, there is membership you can go for. If you need any information related certification, it's there. One thing I would like to share with you is this small thing. Actually, IIBA support you in securing your employer to invest in CBAP. So what happens is there is a standard process, so you can follow that. You can contact them, they will, or email them, or you can. There is a simple mechanism that you can share with your employer that you want to do CBAP, and how it will help them. Even or even IABA writes an email to them identifying the importance of CBAP and what CBAP can do for their organization, and encourage them to invest on you for CBAP exam. So this is important. I would suggest you to just go through these small tasks to understand if you want your employer to invest with you. This is one thing. Okay, now this is related to exam fees. We already discussed all these details. There's more new certifications. If you see on the screen, it's related to cybersecurity analysis as well. So IBS Cybersecurity Analyst is also a certification. It's $425. It has its own different book, not the BABOK. It's a different book. When you buy the membership, you have access to CCA exam as well, books as well. Okay. This is recertification fee. God forbid if you didn't pass it at first, you can pay lesser amount for the second one. Okay, but there is a 3 months of time period that you have to wait before you attempt it again. Okay, this is IABA bookstore. You can buy things, and if you are a member, you can download free material from here. Okay. 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 Now, there is one Excel sheet as part of the documents that I will hand over to you. But in that Excel sheet, you will see the task like this. So when you are giving an application for IABA CBAP exam, they will ask you what task have you done. So choose only the yellow tasks that are on the screen. In that Excel sheet, it will be fully mentioned. But remember, choose only yellow task. You don't need to put orange and never a red task, because that's a project management task and they will reduce your specific number of hours. Okay, choose yellow task. Okay, now I think certificates, everything, I think you will distribute the certificate online. So there we go. That's the end of this presentation. Okay. I would like to show something. Hold on. Okay. So this is the folder that you are going to get from Google Drive. Kazi will share it on Google Drive and share the link with you. I hope you all can read it. There are 4 folders and a PowerPoint presentation that we have finished. This folder will be shared on Google Drive. It's not very heavy, so you can download it or on your laptop. Okay, the first folder have the ebooks. So somebody asked for IIBA, PMI PBA. So this is PMI PBA book. Also there, also a book, the BABOK, which was already shared. It's also there. Also some other books that are useful for examination. If you are not going for watermark learning or any simulator, then these books are good reference as well. This exam related folder is 100% focused on exam only. So if you see, it has the handbook that has all the answers to your certification questions. Maybe my screen is a little big, so you are not able to read it properly. So once you have the folder, you can. But you can see it on your screen. I have started this folder. Yeah, this file. So it has this all the questions related to your exam is there. Payment, application fees, how it works, things like that. Okay. It also has around 10 Word files that consist of more than 1,000 questions, exam questions. But again, these are exam questions in a written format. So you have to print it out or access it, and you have to learn those questions. So these are not very efficient, but if you want to save money on simulator, you can still do this. But if you do in simulator, same questions, you will get it as part of simulator, so it's easy to learn. Okay, but you have the questions along with answers in these files. Once you apply for membership, as soon as you become member, you get this wallet card, which gives you a accreditation that you are a IIBA member. You can use this credential, like this logo they give you. You can use it with your LinkedIn profile as well as your signature. That gives a thought to customers, that your customers' confidence as well as your peers, that you are part of the business analysis community. Once you clear the exam, you get some certificate like this. They keep changing colors and everything. So, but this is what it looks like a few years ago. Okay. So the exam sheet that I was talking, I showed you that has yellow and red, so you don't need to choose red. This is the Excel sheet. Okay, so this is for every knowledge area. So this is strategy and what you need to choose, what you should not choose. Okay, you only have to go for yellow. Hope it's clear. If you have any question, you can ask on Slido. Okay, this folder, there is one more folder here. Okay, before folder, I would like to show you this Excel sheet. This is what you will use to put your experience, and it automatically distributes. Okay, so this is the Excel sheet that you can use for your exam application filing. So it's very simple, and it calculates it here total. So every knowledge area should be 900 hours minimum, and total should be more than 9,000 for CBAP. Same thing you can use for CCBA and ECBA. Okay, hope it's clear. If you have any questions, you can write on Slido. This specific folder is for PMI PBA. So it has the book, it has the guide, and it has the sample exam questions as well. Okay. This is what you have been waiting for. This is my email address. This is my phone number. Let me close that. Just a second. All right. All right. So if you see this folder, it will be sent to you, as I said. So we discuss about ebook, we discuss about exam. Now there is two more folders that consist of lots of templates. So let's see these details. Okay, we still have time, so we'll go through maximum most of them as possible. So there is something called business case that we discussed, that what is the benefit of a certain technology implementation, what it will save. So there are templates for that. So you can use these templates. These are free of cost available. Some of them are made by me, some of them are made by the peer business analyst, but they are all available along with their consensus to you can discuss. So for example, let's see this business case sample. Probably this is from Mantak. Um, okay. Okay, this is like a service shoe company. It's shared along with their consensus. It's a little old document, but will help you in designing a business case, how it's made, what are the different content of business case. So this is a business case of service shoes implementing a proper supply chain. So that's a little old, but like there was a business case, and the pay period of implementing this was 3 months. But you will be astonished that after go live, we did a first evaluations of solution evaluation in 45 days, and the payback was done. This is a very big achievement. Usually that's what software does. Like if you are not using a software, if you're using a software, the return investment is usually lower. But if you are not using a software, the return investment is far more higher than you could imagine. So nowadays you don't come across a requirement where people are not having not having computers, automated solutions. But that's the point. So if you see, it has how they reach to the business case, what was the business case, what are the data that is used for the business case, where the data came from, what are the different costs that have been considered, development cost, maintenance cost, period in life, depreciation period, all this. This is a complete business case of a software solution. So what is the data? What are the different steps taken to calculate the things? And some qualitative and quantitative benefits, break even, net present value. We discussed these things. So if you see that this is the total cash outflow that is expected in this for the system, but these are the return investment. Okay, so hope it makes sense. IRR, internal rate of return. So this is one of the document. It's so big. You have the Word file as well. You can use it. How these numbers are calculated is also in this Excel sheet. You can use feasibility report sample is there. There's something called ROI analysis, return investment of a software. So this is one way of doing it. This is how, if the software improves, what it will do for certain things, what numbers will be increased as compared to market, what revenue will be increased, so what will be the payback period. This is simpler one, a simple table. So these are some root cause analysis report probably. Okay, this is also one of the business consulting assignment related to organization analysis. You have to understand the organization, what they are doing, then what they are doing right, what they are not doing right. So a lot of things are there. You can read these things. Then minutes of the meeting, usually like the one you use, I'm sure these are the best one. But these are also sample if you don't have proper minutes of the meeting format related to software development, or you would like to see something, then this would be helpful. So I don't know. Yeah, this is just a sample. So if you see, there will be screens, tables to depict and this is related to one sample. So see, this is how you sketch and you put it. Probably things got better with the passage of time. This is shared with, this is a case study from financial institution shared with their permission. These are the action item list. I don't know. So if this suits you, you can use this one. Also available on internet. Then you go to this folder. This folder have a lot of templates. Okay, UAT, summary, deployment checklist, issue logs if you don't have automated, training forms, UAT plans, UAT sign-offs. A lot of different things are there for you. If you are doing a business process modeling assignment, this is one of the very good assignment that this is one good format that could help you in doing the BPN project. So as is identification of areas of improvement, and this is 2B probably. And this is how you are identifying the severity of issues. Remember ABCD, we discussed this yesterday. So this is BPMN, business process modeling exercise. This could be very helpful. This is 2B process. Okay. It also has communication plan samples from actual live environment. Glossary we discussed, right? So these are two different samples of glossary. Stakeholder analysis you have already done. Format, then user manual formats, things like that. So all of this will be shared with you on Google Drive. Kazi will share with you. If you have any questions, you can write me on Slido. That's it from my side for today. If you have any question, you can share. Yeah, Kazi is saying Mr. Muhammad Azhar is asking Google Drive link. Kazi will share with you. Yeah. So like the one you shared, all the power presentations, this is how it will be shared. Okay. Anything else anybody would like to discuss? Any other questions? Anybody? So we are going to conclude the session for today. And with this business analysis session has come to an end. We have covered business analysis body of knowledge along with lots of case studies shared by everyone in this session almost. And it was a great session. Thank you very much for all your participation. Anybody have any questions? So you can write me, or I'll start the. If you don't have any question, then I'll start the poll for this last training session. So are we good, everyone? I need few yes before we end this session with a poll, rating poll. Are we good? Yes, great, excellent. So I'm activating a poll now. Please rate this training. And I'm all ears. If anybody want to talk, you can unmute yourself and we can have any discussion, any last comment. Thank you very much, everyone. It was a great session. Trust me, I have done countless sessions on this one. I forget the counting, but this one was greatest session of all, and great participation, all of you. I have learned a lot. I have learned. I got this didn't happen for before we took the poll. Otherwise, it would have impacted. Thank you so much, everyone. Yes, please. If you want to, any last comments?
Boss, I just wanted to ask you, DA's role all seems to be can you hear me properly?
Yeah. No. A little bit more. You have to talk. Yeah, I was feeling difficulty hearing.
Okay, DA's role is never been kind of dictatorial. It has had to be more over creamy one. And there's no conflict management I saw in the whole course over there. But we had different types of ways to sorting out our things, but there was no conflict management which pound your hand on your table and let's say it has had to happen like this.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I'm facing difficulty hearing you. You might need to talk louder. So I got part of your comment, but I didn't get the question at the end. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I think there was a connection problem. No problem. We'll wait for him to. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, the question was simply I didn't see any conflict management with the dictatorial sort of role with the BA to end the conflict between two stakeholders or let's say the developer and the business. Rather than it was more over a creamy kind of role, he has to sift through the whole thing. We business analyst does not deal with the conflict management with the pounding hand on the table. This has had to be like this.
Absolutely right. So see, conflict management is a technique, right, that you can use to have the conflicts resolved in a better way as compared to if you don't know the conflict management. But in addition to conflict management, there's a lot of more skills like negotiation skills, the communication skills. So these are all relevant competencies of a BA. This course or the IIBA body of knowledge is more focused on the business analysis activities, the standard task that a business analyst should do in addition to the competency. So, for example, if you have this conflict management skills or the competency of conflict management and negotiation skill, and you apply the business analysis task and techniques that we discuss, you will have more grand data, more accurate information about the solutions and how they are implemented and what is right, what is wrong, to resolve the conflict in a better way. So that's how it works. So conflict management is a competency, and what we have discussed and what's part of the IIBA body of knowledge is the task or skill sets of a business analyst. I hope it clears. Anybody, if you would like to give any last point before we end the session. Thank you everyone. It was a pleasure. Thank you, and inshallah we'll see you in some time in next course. But you have my contact details, my email address. Please be in touch, especially if you if you want to go for certification, you want any support, I'm all available. Just take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you. Take care.
Take care.
Allah Hafiz.